everybody, this is a Flat Cap Cafe Racer. I got Mr. Bill behind me doing a little filming. Say hello, Mr. Bill.
Hey everybody, it's a beautiful day in Idaho.
Mr. Bill's on his Tiger, and today I'm reviewing a 2022 Triumph Tiger Sport 660. And hopefully you'll join us with this one. It's going to be good. Some of you may remember about 9 months ago I was looking to replace a couple of bikes that were stolen in August. One of the bikes I looked at was this Tiger Sport 660. I really liked it. I didn't get it because I got the Tiger 900, another Tiger 900, because I thought it was a little bit better touring bike, especially 2-up. But today I'm going to get a little bit better ride on this one, and we'll show you some. There isn't any differences in spec between the 2022 and the 2023. However, there's a few differences on this particular bike. This particular bike has a Puke windscreen, which is 110 millimeters higher, or in the old money I think it's 4.3 inches. It also has a little bit shorter, it's got the low seat on it. So the standard stock seat is 32.87 inches, which is exactly the same as a Tiger GT Pro on the low setting. So I'm going to show you a couple pictures in here showing you the even with this low seat, that you still have a long way from the seat to the foot peg, so it's very good ergonomically for the people that have problems with their knees. It has a lot of, still has a lot of ground clearance on it. I'll show you a picture of that in here. So that's pretty good. And I'm going to show you a picture between me sitting on a stock Tiger with stock bars and everything, and what I look like sitting on this bike. And not surprisingly, that the bars are a little bit closer to me. My hands are a little bit higher. My knees are up just a little bit, but very, very similar in riding ergonomics and the riding triangle. This bike has on it, it's sprung what I'd say pretty softly. It has a good amount of travel on the front. It has a Showa 41 millimeter cartridge fork on the front with 150 millimeter travel, or 5.9 inches, and it has a Showa adjustable rear shock for preload only. It's got a remote adjuster, and as with all the bikes like this, when I take them out, I set it in the middle setting, so I've got the preload in the middle setting. I think it goes like 30 clicks. I'm at 15. So it's sprung pretty softly. It feels good on so far on the road. I think that I'm gonna give it a little test on the front brake, Bill. So it does have a lot of dive. You can see the dive on it. So with this cartridge fork, if you want to stiffen it up, you're probably going to have to change the fork oil in it to stiffen it up. If you're interested in that hard dive, keeping that dive from going down real fast. There's no adjustments on the front forks at all. Now, speaking of brakes, it's running Nissan 310 millimeter dual 2-piston front brakes, and they have a good feel to have a real good feel to them. The front brake lever is adjustable. On the back you have a single Nissan 255 millimeter rear brake, and it has a good feel to it. And Triumph really did a good job of putting great tires on this. It's running Michelin Road 5s on here. Now this is a used bike. It has about 1,100 miles on it. So it's just now broke in. If you can see I really like the TFT on it. To me, I like it a little bit better than the even my Triumph Tiger TFT, although it's smaller and it's not as fancy. It's really basic, but it's really clear. Like I said, it has a Puke windscreen on it, which is still adjustable. You can still pull it up and down. I have it in the lowest setting right now. You may hear the difference on this bike. It's got a Leo Vinci slip-on it, and it sounds really good, I think. To me, it's just the old school 3-cylinder engine, which means it's a little bit smoother than maybe the Tiger 900s. It doesn't have as much low-end grunt. This bike is geared really low. It's got a 16 tooth front and 51 tooth back. So its gearing is a little bit even lower than a stock Tiger 900. A lot of traffic on today's on the highway today, but now the seat, because it's a low seat, doesn't have as much padding in it, so it must have been a shorter rider. And although the seat feels really hard right now to me, I don't know if it would be hard on we'll have to wait to the end of the ride and see. I did notice a little bit of vibrations coming into the bars, a little buzzy around 5,500 RPM, which is about 70 miles an hour with the bike where it's currently geared. The good thing about this bike is you can change front and rear sprockets. They have a lot of changes that you can get either higher or lower on the gearing. So I really like that. So you can kind of change this to however you wanted it to move that RPM around just a little bit. The gas tank on this is 4.5 gallons, US gallons. And that's a pretty good sized gas tank. I'm sure it's going to get at least mid 40s to 50 miles to a gallon, so it's going to get you some good range. I'll put up the liters on it. I think it's about 17.2 liters for the new money people. It's got hand guards on it, which I do like. I think if this is my bike, I would probably put heated hand grips on it. And I'll talk about the pricing of some of that stuff. It does not come with a center stand, so but you can put the little bobbins on the back. It has a place for the bobbins to screw into, so that's not a problem. So you can lift the front rear tire off the ground if you want to, you know, do the chain, or you want to take the tire off or something like that. But the oil filter on this bike is really easy to get to. It's right up front. The coolant reservoir is right on the left hand side, and it's really easy to get to. All of them should be that easy to get to and check. On the right hand side you have on the engine you have where you put your oil in. Then there's right below that there's a little dipstick that to check the oil in. No sight window, just the dipstick. I do like the way this exhaust sounds. I have to admit that. I just think the old school 3-cylinders have a little bit better intake sound and exhaust sound coming out of them, just a little bit. Although I do like the Tiger 270, you know, better because it's got a lot more torque down low. But this bike, if you want to make it to a touring bike, I think it would be a I would get a comfort seat on it, or I would get a Corbin makes a nice seat for this bike. It's about $400 for it, and that would make it a lot more comfortable. You can also get the turn around. You can get the panniers with this bike, color match panniers, and they look really nice with it. Right now Triumph's has got a special on the as long as it lasts for the 2022s, that you can get free panniers with this bike. So that's a pretty good deal. So I would get panniers. I would get the panniers for this bike. I would probably get the shift assist because this bike just kind of, you know, goes for it. I get the heated hand grips on this bike. Unfortunately, it does not come with cruise control. That's just wish it did, because it'd make it a lot easier. I think on a curvy road, this could keep up with most bikes around. It's got 81 horsepower and about 47 foot-pounds of torque. Not highly stressed at all, because you know the new 765s, they're 130 horsepower, and I'll admit that the 765 is a little bit more flash. You know, it's a little bit more flash bike than this is, but I think, believe it or not, I think I'd rather have this bike. I do like the 765, and I like especially that one in the yellow. It's just beautiful. But it has a lot of things on it that I probably won't use. I probably wouldn't use 130 horsepower, and I don't really need the Olin suspension on it. And the comfort on this bike, the ergonomics on the Triangle, is so much better than the 765. I mean, you can do anything you want to with this bike. You can tour on it. You know, you can do stuff like we're doing day rides on it, like we're doing today. So I don't know, Mr. Bill. I think one of these may end up in my garage sometime. I think this particular bike sells for, if you're going to the Triumph shop there in Boise, I think it sells for about $8,600. Now, that didn't include it never includes the tax or whatever, you know. It doesn't include that. But the good thing about that $8,600, it includes that $1,000 slip-on exhaust that you got. Includes this little cut-down seat if that's what you like. It includes a Pugh windscreen. So you're getting another $1,100 to $1,200 on accessories, and for $1,100 or more dollars cheaper than a new 2023 660. So that's a pretty good deal, I think. This bike only has 1,100 miles on it, so there you go. Okay, folks, we've talked about a lot of the stuff here on the bike. How it feels is, it feels like a good bike to me. I mean, it's one of these bikes that I can see why I had it in my short list, and you know what? I still have it in my short list. One of these may find its way in my garage here one of these days. I think this is a very, very underrated bike. It's probably, like I said, it's probably not the flashiest bike around, but I think it's a good looking bike. I really want to thank the folks at Triumph Shop for letting me take this bike out and do a 100-mile plus ride on it, I guess, and take it out for a couple hours, because you can tell a little bit more about it than you can, you know, 2 or 3 miles around the block. Get a little better feel for it. Been real generous with letting me take the bikes out. I've taken 3 Triumphs and 1 Indian out. I was set to take out a XC 1200 Scrambler the other day, and about 2 hours before I was supposed to pick it up, they sold it. So there, I couldn't take that one out. I was going to ride that one. So one of the subscribers has asked to do that. Sorry, I couldn't do that, make that happen. Take out a T120 one of these days. Not real sure. I'm getting pretty close to my end days of my video. So we'll probably do Roy's RD350, and we'll do the Bonneville, and maybe do a drag race video, I don't know. A little over 4 weeks to going to the Bonneville Salt Flats. There's a new subscribers or viewers. There's a video on the bike I'm taking out there. It'll be a Rocket 3 belonging to Rob Smith. I'll be riding that bike for him. We'll be out there around the 5th through the 8th, I think, 9th of August, somewhere around there. So if you happen to be in the Bonneville area, you'll have to come over and join us. We'll be running bike number 1006, 1006, and be toting the bike around in the big red Ford van. You gonna say goodbye, Mr. Bill?
Goodbye, everybody.
He said goodbye, so I'm gonna say goodbye also. Bye. Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.